Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Bright Violet Arts. My name is Valerie, and I'm so excited about this video in particular because we are finally going into October and it's spooky season. And every year, this is my favorite month for bullet journaling just because I so enjoy Halloween illustrations. They're silly and creepy and spooky and they're just fun. So I had a great time setting this up. I hope you enjoy watching the process. I'm going to show you a lot of how I do the actual illustrations. And as always, my hope is that the designs and artwork that I show you will inspire you in some way to set up your own bullet journal, give you some ideas or a jumping off point for your own October theme. So, per usual, I'm going to kick it off with my cover page art. And I am starting off with just a simple banner design. And I'm going to sketch out a little bottle of poison for the illustration. And the theme this month that I'm attempting is Pastel Goth. So this is my interpretation of that. I'm not exactly sure how other people might interpret it, but this is how I'm doing it. And I want to definitely say a special thank you to one of my viewers who suggested the Pastel Goth theme in the comments last month. This theme was suggested by Aaron Brock Atwood, and Aaron had responded to my request in my September video for ideas that I could use for my October theme. So I certainly appreciate that input. It was a fabulous idea, and I really enjoyed every minute of the creation process for this theme. I loved the soft, pretty colors and the way they juxtapose with like the creepy, spooky, scary kind of, Halloween aesthetic. So it was just totally fun. And like I said, I think it was probably my favorite theme of this year, as Octobers usually are. So I'm going to take a little break from coloring in that illustration. I'll come back to it. But at this point, I wanted to work on the quote page. So I started with "Something wicked this way comes." So I'm throwing down a little Shakespeare there. That's from Macbeth. Actually, it's a line that one of the witches, there's like three witches in that play, and one of the witches says it. It's so creepy and foreboding, and I thought it was a really good quote to kind of start off the month. I'm going to add in some sparkles and some little heart flourish designs just to bring in like a little bit of like girliness and cutesiness to the creepy quote. And again, that's how I'm going to approach this whole pastel goth theme, like creepy stuff, but pretty colors and some like traditionally feminine kind of details to mix it up. And I love the way it all came together. You can also see I have added some torn black journal paper just randomly to the cover, and I'm going to do that just little pieces in the corners of all the pages this month. It'll add a cohesive element to tie everything together. And I also think it adds to the look of like a dark Halloween aesthetic. So here is a look at the completed cover page. The materials I used in the setup this month are pretty much going to be either like water-based markers, acrylic paint pens, and also fine liners. So here I'm using a Tombow, like the bullet tip of a Tombow marker to map out my calendar, and then I'm using paint pens to add the numbers in. I'm doing 2 coats of white over purple paint pen just because sometimes it takes a couple of coats to get a bright white when you've got a dark background. And then my illustration was a witch's familiar, like just a Halloween black cat, but this one's kind of grumpy. So I'm sorry I don't have footage of creating the cat, but hopefully I'll make up for it on the next spread because I'm going to show you my sketching process for drawing a very spooky, beautiful girl. The function of this spread is moods and productivity tracking. So when I finish the illustration, I will be making a chart that will allow me to track both my productivity on a scale of 1 to 10 each day, and then I will color code each day for, whatever my dominant mood was. Just to look back on and try to glean some information from that kind of data, I find it helpful to track that stuff and look for patterns and things, see what I can do to improve myself based on whatever information, presents itself at the end of the month when I can look over the whole thing at once. So the inspiration for my illustration over here is the song Spooky, which is like, I don't know, 60s or 70s era. I feel like it's the 60s. I should look that up. But anyway, there's a couple of very popular versions of the song. The one I like best is by a group called Classics 4. And there is another extremely popular version that Dusty Springfield recorded. And like one of them, like it's a gender flip. Like one of them says, "Love is kind of crazy with a spooky little girl like you." The other one says, "Spooky little boy." But they're both excellent songs and absolutely Halloween classics. So, of course, I've quoted the lyric here on the same page. I wanted her to have like beautiful, light, pastel colored hair. So I actually used highlighters rather than markers to color that in. I used the mild liners brush markers, which, like I said, they're technically highlighters. And then I added some additional details like her tattoos and jewelry with gel pens and fine liners. Over here, this is the moods and productivity chart that I mentioned with a color code for all my emotions that I might, want to describe a day as being. We are now getting into the first weekly planning spread of the month. And I want to talk about this illustration. I love it so much. I think it's so cute, but it is not my original design. I saw it on Pinterest. I would love to credit the original artist, but it's been posted so many times, I can't tell who the original artist is. But I did just recreate that art, and I thought it was adorable. And I love this little spooky ghost over here. I'm going to give him a look of like pasteliness just by highlighting the edges with those mild liners, and the rest of him stays white, so it gives kind of a shadowy effect. So there's week 1 all finished. For week 2, I was kind of inspired by like a haunted mansion vibe, so I went with like a creepy candelabra. And the way I'm coloring this in, I'm using I guess a gray Tombow, like a medium gray Tombow, to color in like the base layer. And then I'm going to come back with a white paint pen for highlights and a darker gray for shadows. So the way that I approach drawing shadows like this is I like to always put my shadows on the left side if I'm just drawing something out of my head, if I don't have like a specific reference photo for it, just to keep it straight so I always know what I'm doing. I put the shadow on the left, I put the highlight on the right, and it turns out pretty cute. So there's a look at week 2 all finished up. Going on now to week 3. I've drawn in a skull with a raven perched on top, and as you'll see when I caption it, it's like a nod to Edgar Allan Poe. So the reference photo that I used when I was drawing out this skull was like just an actual photograph of a skull. But it doesn't have to be that deep. Like, I wanted to get some accuracy, but you certainly don't have to. If you enjoy this design with like the raven and the skull, you could do a very simplified version of this in your own journal if that's what you're comfortable with, or if that's what you have the time to do. It could be very, very simple. It also does not have to take up a whole page the way I did it. You could do like, a little corner illustration, a little cartoony doodle somewhere on your layout, and it would still be very cute. So I hope that when you see the illustrations that I do, that you consider your style and your level of like time investment that you want to put into it, and make it your own, because that is the reason that I love to share this stuff is I hope to inspire you in your own creative process. And of course, I did add the word nevermore, because quoth the raven, etc. And here is the finished week 3 spread. Week 4, this one was really cute, and it's a more simplified illustration, and I just think it's so cute. I did a little pumpkin, but being that this is a Pastel Goth theme, I went with pastel colors to color him in, and also because I want him to really glow, as if he's, lit with a candle inside. So I didn't want to have like yellow eyes and everything with the light coming out and then have like the orange pumpkin, because it wasn't enough contrast for me to really emphasize the glow. And as you'll see here with my caption, like that's the whole point. It says, let's get lit. So I needed to emphasize the light, coming from within the pumpkin. To add this little outline or inner line to the letters there, I used a Sakura Moonlight Jelly Rolls gel pen. I didn't mention that particular supply at the beginning, just because I forgot, but I also did use some opaque gel pens, and I love gel pens for illustrating. They really are just like little tiny baby paint pens, the way they cover and the way they work, but it's still a ballpoint pen, so you can get very, very precise lines with that opaque coverage. So I strongly recommend the Moonlight Jelly Rolls as an illustration tool. I use them so often. I really, really love them. My last illustration for week 4 here also comes from a song. It's a Blue Oyster Cult song, Don't Fear the Reaper, obviously, and I think he's really cute. I wanted him to be scary, but like not too scary, because, I'm going for a cutesy vibe. The week only had 4 days, and that left me enough room for a little photo layout for my daughter's Halloween costume and a little orange highlighted set of lines where I can record Halloween memories as well on that spread. So that's taking us into the final flip through. I really hope that you enjoyed the video today. I appreciate you so much for watching it. I love to share my journaling work with you guys. I also love to get your feedback and suggestions. So just, remember that the comments are there. And if you want to provide any kind of input for me for future videos that I could create, or themes that you might like to see, or anything that occurs to you, stemming from this video, I would love to know about it. You can also find me over on Instagram at Bright Violet Arts. I do post more journaling work over there. I also share some of my other illustration work and my paintings as well. So you can check that out if it is of interest to you. I hope you guys all have a wonderful spooky season. I hope your month of October is healthy, happy, and successful in all the ways that you want it to be. Thank you so much for journaling with me today. And I will see you again very soon with another one. Once again, thank you so much for checking out Bright Violet Arts. And have a great Halloween if you celebrate, and happy journaling.